What is going on, guys? My name is Tayvikes28, and I am back here on YouTube. What is going on, guys? My name is Tayvikes28, and I am back here on YouTube. And sorry about the little pause there, and the issues at starting here, because I am struggling with my audio. What's new? Every single time it feels like. But we are back here, live here in the Toronto Huskies franchise. Once again, it has been, I don't even know how long, but too long, as we are here in Madden 20 for those of you that are new here and for those of you that are not. And really doesn't matter because we're going to have to go through and kind of get updated on things, whether you're new, whether you're not new, because I myself don't really remember what's going on. So let's take a deep dive here into the Toronto Huskies franchise. What is it? It's quite simply a sim-based franchise. So we do not play the games. I go in, I commentate, we build the team together, we make free agent signings, we draft players, we trade players, but we do not play the games. It's all about team building here in this franchise and how good you are at team building. And so this is our third year, and as you can see, we are finally in contention for the playoffs, possibly sitting at 7-7. Now, obviously, the playoff format is not up to date in current NFL standards, so it's still the old playoff format with 6 teams on each conference going to the playoffs. But as you see the standings for the AFC South, which is where we are, because we took over for the Jacksonville Jaguars, whose owner, Shad Khan, sold the team to Ryan Fitzmagic, as you see up there in the top right-hand corner there. And he took over, rebuilt the team, was the starting quarterback in year one, and then moved on. So we are sitting at 7-7, a couple games behind the Indianapolis Colts, but still in contention for the playoffs. And this is what our team is looking like. Now, remind you, we started out with pretty much practice squad level players across the board. All right. And now we're all the way up to an 83, 84 overall. And this is what the squad looks like here. We'll go position by position. At quarterback, we have the guy who took over for our owner, and that is Trevor Nickerson, the quarterback from Maine, and this is his second year. He started out, it was a little rocky in his first season, but he was solid, and this year he's coming out, he's been playing pretty well for us, and he's got not really a whole lot of competition behind him. He's got a veteran in Phillip Rivers that we brought in to help mentor him, and then we have Kellen Mond, the rookie here. And then going forward, at running back, we did bring in Aaron Jones a season or two ago, so he is our starting running back. He's been solid for us, 1,000-yard rusher. We did draft Travis Etienne to help back him up, and of course, Latavius Murray, our kind of go-gadget on offense. He plays fullback, he plays running back, he does it all for us. Solid guy. And then fullback, we actually have one of those, and that's CJ Ham. But we like to put Latavius Murray in there so we can get some carries as well. And then at wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb as our number one guy, and he's been here pretty much since the beginning. So he's been here for 3 years, and he's started to develop pretty nicely. He seems to have a solid connection with our young quarterback. And then we drafted Keontae Bonds, the number 2 receiver in this offense. It's probably going to be contract year here in a season or two. And then we have T. Higgins, another guy who's been here since the beginning. He has not developed as nicely as he has in the real NFL, but he is still a solid receiver for us. We have Trent Sherfield, who had one of the craziest plays I've ever seen in Madden a couple seasons ago, where he had a walk-off touchdown to win the game on a tipped pass. It was pretty insane. I think Jaden Daniels this past season with his Hail Mary. And then we have Michael Pittman Jr., who has also been here since the beginning. So we have a really solid slew of receivers here, young guys. And then at tight end, we went out and we had Jesper Horsted as a number 2 tight end, and Delaney Walker was the starter. Delaney Walker retired, and we brought Jonnu Smith in, played for a season. He was solid, but there was an opportunity when free agency hit, and that was Travis Kelce. And we were not going to let that slip through our fingertips. So we have Travis Kelce out here. Jonnu Smith is the number 2. Really solid tight ends. We do play a decent amount of 2 tight ends, so you'll see that throughout the game, and that's why we have 2 there. We also drafted Adam Ritter last season, so we have a superstar left tackle. I think he's going to be great for us. And then at left guard, we have Trey Smith, the rookie. Obviously, he just got paid in the real NFL, but he is our rookie here in this. And then at center, we have Nick Harris. Right guard, we have David DeCastro, the old guy who probably won't be here a whole lot longer, but we already got his replacement in Lorenzo Betts. And we have Jedrick Wills at right tackle. And then at left end, we have Ifedi Adenabo, who is okay. He's solid, but we are going to probably be looking for a replacement for him moving forward. We have the veteran and the absolute monster that is Ryan Kerrigan. Despite what his overall says, he plays like a 99. Every single time we get him on the football field, he's making plays. And then we have Aiden Hutchinson, the rookie, who may be the replacement for Ifedi Adenabo. We will see how that goes, or he'll be the replacement for Ryan Kerrigan if he retires. We also have Floyd Ellis, who is probably our number 1 best player on this team. I think that he is hands down the most dominant player. I think Aaron Donald like. All right, he could be the next Aaron Donald at defensive tackle, and he's been here just about from the beginning. We also got Terrell Beckwith at the same time, and Linval Joseph we brought in free agency. And then we have Micah Parsons, the rookie, who's been really aggressive in his pass rush this season. He's quick. He gets after the quarterback. And we have Logan Wilson, who kind of plays as a middle linebacker, even though he's listed as an outside guy. He still sees the field. And then the middle linebackers, we got a lot of veterans here. We got Demario Davis, who's been solid. We brought him in a season or 2 ago. And then Jordan Hicks, we brought in this past season. So we've got some veterans here, but they're definitely not long-term guys. And we drafted Nick Bolton this past season, and then 2 years ago, J.J. Mirable, who I think could develop into a solid guys there at linebacker. Right outside, Adarius Evans is the other guy opposite of Micah Parsons. The duo right there could be absolute wrecking on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen it time and time again. Quincy Williams is also here. So we have such a deep pass rush. He is our first ever superstar dev player who we developed from nothing. He was a 60 or 62 overall player. We've got him up to an 84 superstar dev. He's been a monster. And then at corner, you got Marshawn Lattimore and Big Play Slay. We brought Big Play Slay back for one more season. Don't know if he's going to stick around much longer than that. He's still a solid player, though. Marshawn Lattimore is still the number 1 guy here. Richie Branch we drafted, who may end up taking over for Big Play Slay. And then also we got Trayvon Diggs down there, who hasn't developed like he has in the real NFL. Nick Needham as well, and rookie Josh Jobe and Dorian Henderson. So then at free safety, we got Jalen Thompson, who we traded for from the Arizona Cardinals a couple seasons ago, and he's been solid for us. He's made some good plays, had a pick 6 or 2 here or there. He was pretty much, we wanted a better player than Lano Hill, and that's what we got with Jalen Thompson. At strong safety, we had Rashad Jones, the longtime Dolphins safety and veteran, and then he ended up leaving us because he was aging pretty hard, regressing. So we went out and drafted Jaquil Easter a season ago, and he has been a monster since then. So let's see if he can continue his development. Kicker, we got Josh Lambo. Punter, we got Matt Hack, and obviously we got some draft picks here for the future. But that is enough from me. Let's go ahead and get into this. We'll do a couple upgrades, or one, I guess, and that is Floyd Ellis. We'll go ahead and continue his run-stopping ability, try and make him into the absolute monster in the middle that he should be. As you see, he, despite what the core attributes say, he is probably playing so much higher than an 86 overall there. All right, we will not worry about contracts or scouting or anything until after this game. Let's just go ahead and jump into this thing, and I'm going to have to remember exactly how to do this, so bear with me. All right, we are playing the Cincinnati Bengals, which we'll go ahead and show you guys their roster here in a second once we get into the game. But it is going to be an away game for us, so we are traveling from Toronto down to Cincinnati to visit the Bengals here. And we're going to get into this thing. You have your Toronto Huskies here coming into town with their powder blues, going up against none other than the Cincinnati Bengals. As you see here, this will be an interesting matchup here because this is not the Cincinnati Bengals. My name is TayVikes28, in case you guys didn't catch that. Those are not your commentators. Obviously, I will be commentating this game for you guys. But this is a little bit of a different Bengals team than you may be used to. And I'll go ahead and dive deep into this. But this is a big matchup. A lot of playoff implications on the line. Two AFC teams going at each other, and two teams that might have an opportunity to make the playoffs. So massive playoff implications for both sides here. The question becomes who wants it more in this week 16 matchup. As you see, last week, Latavius Murray had a really solid game because Aaron Jones got hurt. So he had 11 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was that guy who came in to replace Aaron Jones. And honestly, I think he played better than both Aaron Jones and Travis Etienne. So that is kind of why he ended up starting there. And before we get into things, I do want to take a look at the depth chart here. For the Cincinnati Bengals, they have not, obviously, Joe Burrow, but Justin Herbert, who they drafted in that draft class instead of Joe Burrow. So they have Herbert there, and then at running back, they still have Joe Mixon as their guy there. At wide receiver, Tyler Boyd is still out there as the number 1 receiver. They obviously have Auden Tate as well, who is still there. And then Preston Williams, who came in from Miami as their 3rd receiver. And then at tight end, they drafted Pat Freiermuth. The rookie is going to be starting for him this one over Drew Sample. Across the offensive line, you got Jonah Williams still there at left tackle. And left guard from New Orleans, Andreas Pete comes in. And then you have center Matt Paradis, who comes over from Carolina. And then Billy Price, who is, I believe, was there previously. And then you have Matt Peart coming in, who they brought in a couple of seasons ago. And then they have Josh Sweat, who is coming over from, I believe, Philadelphia or New York. Not 100% sure where he was at that time. And he's going to be their starter. And then at right end, Carl Lawson is still there, longtime Bengal. And then defensive tackle DJ Reader in his first or second season with the Bengals, is there still, and Malik Collins as well. Left outside linebacker, they've got Gilbert Donald, who they drafted, who seems to be developing quite well for them, and Matthew Judon as the backup now. Jermaine Pratt's still there at middle linebacker. Right outside, you got Darren Lee from Kansas City coming over and being their starter. And then at corner, they brought in the old guy, Chris Harris Jr., who is still doing it out there. And then they've got still William Jackson is there and Mackenzie Alexander. But they also brought in Trey Flowers, so they have a very deep cornerback group there. And then at free safety, they still have Jesse Bates, who is a solid guy at free safety. And strong safety, Von Bell, is still there. So pretty similar defense from a few seasons ago in the real NFL. But here in this, you have a couple of new faces like Justin Herbert leading it on that side of the football. But it is enough about me. We are going to go ahead and jump to the end of the game. As we start things off, Cincinnati is going to be kicking off to Toronto, and that, I believe, should be Travis Etienne returning this kick, and he gets up to the 30 and even all the way to the 31, and that is where Trevor Nickerson coming out, second-year quarterback. As you see, 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 picks. He's not lighting it up, but he is having a pretty solid season, much improved from the season before. So that is what we're looking for from our young quarterback. And they're going to start this thing off, and it is going to be 3 wide here as Nickerson takes the snap, has some time, and eventually time runs out, and it's going to be a fumble, and that is recovered by Aaron Jones, I believe, as Jones had the veteran awareness to see his quarterback in trouble. As you see Nickerson, he had a little bit of time, but that time, the pocket, collapsed very quickly, and that time just absolutely gone away in the matter of seconds. And Nickerson, he may have a little bit of speed, but he is no Lamar Jackson, that's for sure. So could not get away from the defensive tackle there. And they're going to put a man in motion here and fake it to him, going to Aaron Jones up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 2. So this is going to be a long 3rd down here as you see the starting offense for this Toronto Huskies team. And it's been up and down for this Huskies offense this season. They've had some highs, they've had some serious lows, but the defense is what this team is built upon. As you have a handoff here on 3rd down, and that is Aaron Jones getting grabbed after a couple, so they are pretty much conceding to the punt here, as I believe that was Chris Harris coming in on the tackle. So that is 4th and 14 now. And that's going to be pretty much a 3 and out for the Toronto Huskies to start this game off. We've seen a lot of that from the Huskies offense this season, and that's why I say they're very up and down. And this is a booming punt from Matt Hack inside the 15 down to the 11, where it goes out of bounds. Nice punt there. And that's where you see Justin Herbert having a really good season, almost 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. He is a big reason why this Bengals team is in contention for the playoffs this season. And him and Joe Mixon make a pretty nasty duo here. And they're going to go to Joe Mixon as he tries to go outside, cuts in, and makes a nice juke there. I believe that was Quincy Williams who missed him on that tackle there. Couple of yards there on 1st down. As you see this Bengals offense, we looked at it, and they've got the the rookie at tight end there, Pat Freiermuth, who we'll have to see how he plays in this one. As you see, mixing up the middle, and that is getting stuffed after a gain of 2. That is going to be Jordan Hicks coming up with the tackle. And I told you, this defense is what this team is built upon. This Huskies defense is an absolute nightmare for opposing teams. And they make big plays. Doesn't matter if it's sacks, interceptions, fumbles. They do it all. So we'll have to keep an eye on how this defense comes up against a pretty good young quarterback in Herbert, as he has all the time in the world, going deep, and that is knocked away. I believe it hit the intended target in the hands, but it was knocked away by the defender there. That should be Auden Tate, if I'm not mistaken. As you see there, going deep, and he has it, but a nice play by Marshawn Lattimore to get in there. As, look at that, getting the hands right between the wide receivers so he can't complete that catch. Nice veteran play by the number 1 corner here for Toronto. And that's going to be a 3 and out for Cincinnati. And just like that, a punt going the other way, but this is not nearly as good as Matt Hack's, as it goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line. And just like that, Toronto has a real opportunity to take control of this football game. Already at the 46, nearly midfield. And we will have to keep an eye on some of these scores down on the bottom to see how these games are continuing. As a quick throw here over the middle, that is caught CeeDee Lamb, and that'll be a 1st down for this Toronto offense. First down of the game here. As you see, CeeDee Lamb's nearing 1,000 yards on the season. So we'll have to keep an eye to see if he makes that mark in this game. Should be getting pretty close to that. It's now at the 43. It's going to be handoff up the gut, and that is going to be Aaron Jones plowing through a defender, getting inside the 40 to about the 38. And as you see, this Bengals defense, while they have a couple of solid players here or there, I do think that they have a few holes that we can attack. I think Jermaine Pratt can get targeted by the tight end there over the middle. I think this defensive front can be pushed around a little bit. We'll have to see, as we have a 2nd and 5 here, and they go up the gut. Oh, cutting it outside is Aaron Jones, and getting into the 35, I believe that is, setting up a 3rd and 2 now. And this is going to be I formation as a faked, and that is under pressure. Nickerson goes down, a safety blitz, untouched. On the outside is Jesse Bates. A very aggressive play here by the defense. They sent the house as a nice fake there, but unfortunately there were just too many defenders and not enough blockers on that one, as Nickerson had no time to get rid of that football. And all of a sudden, just like that, this is going to be decision time for Toronto. As I don't believe they're in field goal range. They might be, and they're going to attempt it. Josh Lambo's got quite a leg, so we will have to see. It's going to be quite a long one, kicking it from the 50, and that is good. Josh Lambo with an absolute bomb for Toronto. As you see there, that's got to be, I think that's at least 60, if not more than 60 yards. And that might be getting close to the NFL record there. I know the air here in Cincinnati can be a little effective, as you see a lot of wind coming off of those Great Lakes. But still, that is pretty impressive from Josh Lambo. And now that gives Toronto a 3-0 lead. And as you see, your Huskies are in the hunt there. And they're only a game out of the wild card. So there is a serious opportunity for us to jump up there if we can get this win against Cincinnati. So now we have Herbert in the gun. It's going to be handoff to Mixon as he is powering his way forward almost to the 30, up to the 29, as Mixon's coming off of a nice 100-yard performance last week. He is already almost at 1,400 yards on the season, one of the most effective backs in the NFL this season. And so now they have a bunch set on the right-hand side here on 2nd and 6, as Herbert's going to pitch to that side. It is Mixon going out. Nice juke, and just like that, a first down for Cincinnati, as I believe that was Jordan Hicks on the tackle. And so now it is 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. New set of downs, and Herbert's going to fake to the running back under pressure and getting it out just in time. And that is going to be a completion for a first down to Tyler Boyd, his first catch of the day here. And just like that, Cincinnati is driving in plus territory, as you have another quick throw here, but getting batted down this time, as I believe that was... Couldn't quite tell who that was who batted that one down. One of the linebackers got a hand on it, though, as Mixon gets this carry, a little draw here up the gut, and all sorts of room for him to run, though, as he gets 9 yards. So now it is 3rd and 1. Big set here in the... It's going to be a fake, though, and under pressure is Herbert, and that is going to be a sack by Micah Parsons, the rookie, coming in for the first sack of this Toronto defense, and all of a sudden, they have knocked the Bengals out of field goal range. And just like that, your Toronto defense is already making a massive impact on the scoreboard, because that could be 3 points that Cincinnati will not be able to get, assuming they do punt it, and they are going to go ahead and punt this one away. And this time, this punt is going to go out of bounds at the 34. He must have shanked that one, coming off the left side of his foot. Pat O'Donnell with a bad punt there. And all of a sudden, Toronto has a real nice situation here with a chance, if they get a touchdown, extend this lead, and all of a sudden, they have a nice cushion headed towards halftime. And it is going to be a handoff outside. There's Aaron Jones getting about a yard there, maybe. And now that is 2nd and 9. So now they're going I formation here, Toronto. And Nickerson is going to drop back. Quick throw outside. And that is going to be Aaron Jones getting a away from one, but the second player comes in. I believe that was Jermaine Pratt with the tackle, and now it is 3rd and 8. Excuse me, that was Darren Lee with the tackle. And Nickerson takes the snap and throwing deep over the middle. That is batted up and almost intercepted. That was a dangerous throw there for Travis Kelce. His first chance at making a catch there. And that was going to be a tough one between 3 or 4 defenders, as that was a very, very ballsy throw there. Then all of a sudden, just like that, it's going to be another punt here. Punts seem to be the course of action today, as I believe this is the 3rd or 4th one we've seen. And another booming punt from Matt Hack through the back of the end zone and into the stands, actually. And just like that, you have Toronto given another opportunity and once again unable to take advantage. So now it is up to this Bengals offense to get something going. They were moving there in that last drive. Herbert was getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out right on the edge of field goal range. So this time it's going to be handoff up the middle. Nice move by Mixon, makes a man miss, and just like that, getting something out of nothing, getting 3 yards there on first down, setting up a 2nd and 7. And that's what some of the best running backs do in the NFL, is they make something out of nothing. And that is what you need to do. If you're going to be a top running back in this league, you need to make something out of the negative plays. And just like that, it is 3rd and 6 and a catch out of the backfield and 2 broken tackles. And that is Joe Mixon eventually getting knocked out of bounds, as he's not really known as a pass-catching running back necessarily, but he does have that ability in his set. And just like that, that is 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, and that is well, I guess could have been a 3rd if he could have stayed in bounds. We would have to see. A couple of young players there missing those tackles. So now it is 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Herbert take a quick drop back, and a nice completion there, couple yards. Gets about 5 on that first down, 4, on that first down completion. And now it is 2nd and 6. Mixon seems to be where this entire offense is running through, and he is now off the field, though. Need a little bit of a breather as Anderson comes in, and just like that, gets stalled right away. So you can see the difference between Mixon and the backup Anderson, and it is night and day. Right there, Mixon probably would have broken that tackle and found another 3 or 4 yards, but instead, it is a tackle for no gain, and all of a sudden, 3rd and 6 forced from this Toronto defense. And that is where we're going to end this first quarter. The score is 3-0 Toronto, and they need to hold on to that lead if they are going to find themselves in the playoffs here. So coming out here, we have a 3rd and 6. Herbert taking the snap, under pressure, getting it out of his hands, and what a catch over the middle. That was very impressive there. I believe that is the young rookie Pat Freiermuth. A 23-yard catch going over the defender and just saying, that is mine. Just manhandling the football there and making that defender look silly. So all of a sudden, Cincinnati's got a serious threat to score here, as another handoff here and another couple yards from Joe Mixon, who's found himself back in the game here once again. So now it is 2nd and 7 at the 36-yard line. 10 minutes to go in this first half, as you see a quick throw over the middle. That is knocked down, should have been intercepted. That was Marshawn Lattimore who cut that route under, but was unable to get the interception there. So now it is 3rd and 7. Opportunity lost there for Toronto. And Herbert's going to have a little bit of time here in the pocket. All sorts of time, actually. But time eventually runs out. You can't hold on to the football, young man, that long and expect to be able to get away with it in the NFL, as I believe that is Micah Parsons' 2nd sack of the day. As you see there, he just had way too much time back there, and he needed to just throw it away. if you can't find someone open, you just got to throw the football away. But instead, he tries to make something happen. And you see that a lot with these young quarterbacks, is they try too hard sometimes. And if they would have just thrown the ball away, they could have gotten 3 points on the board. And just like that, it would have been a tie game. But instead, we have a punt here, and a really good one this time, finally, from Pat O'Donnell, as they pin Toronto inside the 10-yard line at the 6. And just like that, this Toronto defense has flipped the script on that Bengals offense, who had an opportunity once again to really take advantage of being able to move the football, but they just keep making mistakes when they cannot do so. So now in I formation, it's going to be a run up the gut, and a nice run there as getting about 4 or 5 on the ground. That is Aaron Jones. So now it is 2nd and 5. And it's going to be a quick drop back and a quick throw here over the middle. That is going to be a 5-yard completion to, I believe that was Keontae Bonds, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is 3rd and inches now after that Bonds catch, and a fake to Lamb, and a big play getting blown up in the backfield, as that is going to be Carl Lawson coming through for Cincinnati. And I think they would have had the first down if they would have actually went with that jet sweep with CeeDee Lamb, but instead they elect to go with Aaron Jones on after the fake. And I believe that was a wrong call there from Toronto. And just like that, it's going to be another punt here. And Cincinnati is going to actually have a chance to return this one, as he makes a nice move there, getting up to the 36, and that is where he will be put down from this Toronto special teams unit. And Herbert comes back out here, and he's been very hit or miss in this game. He's made some really nice throws. He's gotten the ball out of his hands quickly at times, and then other times he holds on to it a little bit too long. You see those young mistakes, and as you see down there on the bottom, was Miami with a loss to the Green Bay Packers, I believe that was. A 17-20 loss. Not sure if that affects the standings much, as I believe... Ooh, nice play there by the defense, getting in there to stop mixing quickly. But now we've got 3rd and 6 here at the 39-yard line. Play is moving quickly, and another handoff up the gut, and almost getting a hole there is Joe Mixon, but that hole closes up, as that is Quincy Williams coming in and making the tackle. The tackling machine that is Quincy Williams, as he comes in and fills that hole with just enough time to get him on the ground before they have a chance to get that first down. So now Cincinnati's punting the football back. And like I said, this has just been punt after punt after punt from these two offenses. It seems like that's the only thing that these teams are able to do. Now, obviously, we're hoping that this, after halftime, these two teams can make some adjustments, see if something can happen. But we will have to see. As you see down there on the bottom, Baltimore is taking the lead over Atlanta. As you see in our game, we have a first down handoff to Aaron Jones, getting stuffed in the backfield by Josh Sweat. A nice play there by the Cincinnati defense, trying to get themselves an opportunity here to make a play and maybe get some points on the board for their offense. As you see, Aaron Jones is just running for his life in the backfield, trying to make something happen, but not getting a whole lot of room today. So now 2nd and 11. It's going to be a throw here by Nickerson over the middle, and a nice reception and a juke there from Travis Kelce. His first catch of the day. As you see there, goes for 21 and a first down up to the 40-yard line. And it's funny because looking at the stats, Nickerson looks pretty good. 4 for 5 on the day, making some plays downfield. But it just feels like he is unable to make those big plays until that one right there. So now it is 1st and 10. We need to see more of that from this offense. A little bit more deep passing here as we get another one outside. That is none other than Travis Kelce breaking one tackle, but eventually going down after a gain of about 8 there on his second catch of the day. So now that is 2 in a row, in fact. Now it's 2nd and 2 in the I formation here, and it's going to be a fake to the running back as Nickerson under pressure, and he goes down at the 39-yard line. And that is going to be a big loss for this Toronto offense. And Cincinnati, they've had a little bit of a pass rush themselves in this game. And I'm surprised that this offensive line has been unable to do a whole lot against this defense. I understand that this defense has some solid players, but we've had a much better performances against much better defensive fronts, so I am surprised by this. And as you see, the defense is just feeling a little dejected on the sideline here, as they're hoping that they can get a first down. You got a bunch set to the left-hand side here for Toronto on 3rd and 11. Nickerson takes the snap. He throws over the middle, and that is going to be caught for a first down. Keontae Bonds with his 2nd catch of the day, and this one goes for a first down. So he's got 22 on the day, and now it is in plus territory, and all of a sudden, don't look now, but there's a chance for some points on the board. Let's see if Toronto's offense can continue this downfield passing, because you've seen every time they go down the field, something solid seems to happen for Toronto. They need to do that a little bit more. You have 2 tight ends out here, and it's going to be a quick throw outside that is caught by Travis Kelce, as not much on that one, but it was pretty impressive for Nickerson to even get that ball off, as he had a man in his face. And that is actually going to be a loss of 1, but it could have been much worse than that. I was surprised Kelce also made that grab. Nice catch from Kelce going up to get it, but I think it would have been better off if he just let that one slip through his hands. So now it is 2nd and 11 at the 44-yard line. Once again, an I formation here, and it is going to be a fake to the running back again, and going outside and incomplete, overthrowing his intended target. You haven't seen a lot of that from Nickerson in this one. So now they need to get a couple yards to stay in field goal range. It's 3rd and 11 here, as it's going to be a throw outside, and what was that? An absolute hospital ball for T. Higgins. My goodness. As he saw an opportunity, but I don't know if he just didn't see the safety back there or what, but T. Higgins just got lit up on the outside, and no wonder he couldn't catch that football. Nickerson, you got to protect your receivers. I don't know what the young man is thinking there, as he's just putting it up for grabs, essentially. So now it is 4th and 11, another punt here from Toronto, trying to pin him deep, and they are going to get him inside the 10-yard line. Or excuse me, at the 10, I should say. So Cincinnati needs to go 90 yards to find a touchdown. It's going to be a big ask from an offense that has not been able to get any points on the board in this one. And you see there down in the bottom, Indianapolis has a 3-point lead over the Raiders, and that's going to be big because if they win that game, it is official. Toronto cannot win the division. As you see there, a first down completion to Pat Freiermuth, and it's going to be now a first down run by Joe Mixon. And just like that, they're getting some yardage. And as we hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half, the score is 3-0. Toronto still has the lead, but Cincinnati seems to be getting something going on offense here finally, as it is 2nd and 4 at their own 27-yard line. Already got 17 yards on this drive. Quick throw outside. That is Mixon with the grab as he gets brought down by Quincy Williams outside. They're going no huddle here, and Herbert's going to throw over the middle. That is caught and immediately taken down. Gain of 3 yards. Those little passes are not going to help this offense out, though, so they need to get something downfield. Another catch here. That is Pat Freiermuth getting upfield to the 50-yard line. And just like that, the first timeout comes off the board there for Cincinnati. So they are at midfield, 2 timeouts to go, just over a minute in this first half. Let's see if they can get something going here as Herbert takes the snap, throws outside. It is caught, but not much yardage there. Good tackling out in the open field for this Toronto defense. Another timeout from Cincinnati leads to a 2nd and 8 with 56 seconds to go as Herbert takes the snap, throws over the middle. That is caught downfield, and that is going to be well within field goal range at the 28-yard line. 47 seconds and counting here from Cincinnati, and that is Preston Williams, I believe, with his first catch on the day, as you see Herbert throwing that one in there with some power. And they're going to need to hurry up and get to the line if they don't want to use that last timeout. I would assume they're trying to hold on to that to try and set up a field goal at worst. So now with 33 seconds to go, Herbert takes the snap, high snap, throwing over the middle. That is caught. Freiermuth again, getting about 9 yards this time. And they're now at about 16 seconds to go, and they take a timeout. Interesting decision here. And it looks like they're going to elect to just take the points with 16 seconds to go. They don't want to mess around. They're just going to get 3 on the board and head to halftime with a tie game, or at least that's what they hope. So now with it tied up and only 12 seconds on the clock, we'll have to see what Toronto elects to do here, as it looks like it's going to be a touchback to start this off. So they're at the 25-yard line. Now will they elect to run it or try and get something on the board here? As it looks like it's going to be a run up the gut, and we have a little bit of yardage though, and a timeout taken from Toronto. Looks like they're going to decide to change what they're doing after they wasted 5 seconds though. But they're going to probably try and get some deep balls here with 7 seconds to go. Maybe something amazing can happen as they're going to throw outside, actually. There's Aaron Jones with only a couple, as it is now 3 seconds to go, 3rd and 1. I imagine we'll see a Hail Mary here, as Nickerson takes the snap and he is throwing it deep, and that is, oh my goodness, almost caught but tipped up and intercepted. But we have a chance for a return here, and that is going to be it, as a tackle was made there, and just like that, it is halftime. As you see, score 3-3, but you see it looks like the Bengals lead in just about every category. But let's take a look around the league and see what's going on here at halftime, as we're going to go to Indianapolis, where Oakland has come to town, and Derek Carr is unable to get the lead over the Jordan Love-led Colts, as despite Jordan Love having an interception, he's got his team in the lead by 10, 17-7. And up in Chicago, Dallas is putting a rout on the Bears right now, and Dak Prescott is showing the young quarterback Nathan Russell how to be an NFL QB. 28-zip up there. And then over in New York, you have the Houston Texans coming to town. Close one here as Tua is trying to get his Giants a chance at a first-round bye there, up there in New York. And, of course, Houston is out of contention for the playoffs, as they're just trying to play spoiler right now. But going back to our game here coming out of halftime, we really need to see some better offense from these two. And honestly, Cincinnati's offense hasn't been terrible, but the problem is every time they get into a position where they could score, they shoot themselves in the foot, and they just seem like they cannot get out of their own way. So we would like to see a little bit more from this Cincinnati offense. Smarter plays from the quarterback, getting rid of the football, more or less, don't make the big mistakes. Don't take the sacks. Don't get the interceptions, although none have been thrown today outside of that Hail Mary there. As you see, a completion here from Herbert, and that is going to be over the middle for a first down. Tyler Boyd with another reception there. But like I was saying, Toronto, on the flip side, Toronto's defense, they need to get after the quarterback a little bit more. They've done a solid job so far, getting a couple sacks here or there, but you see Justin Herbert struggles, it seems like, when you get some pressure in his face. So if they're able to get, pressure up the middle, really get to Herbert, force him out of the pocket, I think that's when this Toronto defense can succeed. So let's see if they're able to do that. Some time in the pocket this time, though, as that is Auden Tate, Preston Williams, as he's powering his way forward for 9 yards there, and a impressive play, making nothing or something out of nothing, as there's Joe Mixon up the gut for the first down. And once again, Cincinnati seems to have a drive going, but will they continue to where they can get points on the board? And we see Mixon going outside, making a play inside, juking a guy, getting tackled by Ryan Kerrigan, the veteran, though. And now it is 2nd and 4 at the 37-yard line. Can Herbert continue throwing it down the football field as he takes a snap going outside? That is complete, and no yardage, though, on that one, as Preston Williams makes the catch, but nowhere to go with that as he's pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. It's now 3rd and 3 as Herbert's going to throw outside. That is caught. Wow, what a play there, as I believe that was Richie Branch who was unable to get in there, and that is Auden Tate with his first reception of the day. And that is going to go for a first down as well and put them in field goal range on top of it. So this is a big play for Cincinnati. Now, as long as they don't have any negative plays, then they should have some more points on the board here. But we really would like to see this advantageous defense make something happen here. We've seen things from this defense that is absolutely mind-boggling as we get a little pressure here, but unable to get it out there. And wow, what a play there. I believe that was Tyler Boyd with the catch, but he drops the ball after the defender gets a hand in there and forces it free. So they're going to elect to have that as an incomplete pass. So now 2nd and 10 outside, that is caught, and that is going to be about, I want to say 7 yards. Yeah, about 7 yards there. That was Logan Thomas, I believe, at tight end. So now 3rd and 3 here. And a quick throw over the middle. That is caught. And nice play there outside. I believe that was once, again, that was, that one was Drew Sample. So handful of different tight ends seeing the football field here for Cincinnati, as they must have finally looked back at the previous games from this Toronto defense, and that seems to be what Toronto struggles with. If there's anything, it is covering tight ends for some reason. As you see here, Herbert again taking this snap, throwing it outside. That is Mixon getting stuffed in the backfield, though. Loss of 2 yards there on first down. So now it is 2nd and 12 as Jordan Hicks has 5 tackles already on the day. But like I mentioned before, they must have watched some film there at halftime and realized that tight ends are a problem for this Toronto defense and have been all season. Every time a good tight end or even a solid tight end gets out there, they seem to struggle at pretty much shutting them down. They always are open. They always find a way to find them. And another completion, this time outside, and diving for the end zone is Tyler Boyd. And that is going to be a touchdown for Cincinnati. And just like that, Herbert finds his man outside finally, and a nice play from the Cincinnati offense, getting a man open, and the young quarterback has some time to get the football out there to him. And just like that, the big play from Cincinnati gives them a serious lead in this one. It is going to be a first touchdown of the game, first serious points in this one, gives Cincinnati a 10, pending the extra point, to 7 lead. So now we get the point after here, and that is good. So Toronto down now 3-10 as Cincinnati takes the lead coming out of halftime. As I mentioned, I expected that these two teams would make a few adjustments at halftime, and we'd see a lot different situations here moving forward. As Cincinnati is going to kick this one off, and Toronto is going to elect to take the touchback. As you see down there at the bottom, Justin Fields continues to struggle out there in Atlanta. Not a single completion on the day. And Nickerson's stat line not looking so good in this one either, as he has an interception, which was really just a Hail Mary, so I don't exactly count it. But here we go on first down. A nice play here from Aaron Jones, getting up the field for about 9.5. and that's going to set up a 2nd and inches here. An interesting play there, as it looks like Nickerson switched things up and decided to go with the easy first down there from Aaron Jones. Solid play, getting it 1st and 10 at the 36, and they're going to continue giving the football to the veteran, as this time he has nowhere to go, losing a yard, and I believe that is Chris Harris making the tackle. Nice play there. No, that was Von Bell. I was correct. Von Bell making the tackle there, coming down from his safety position. So now it is 2nd and 11 at the 36-yard line. We need Nickerson to get back to throwing the football, and he throws outside and finding a receiver. That is CeeDee Lamb, and he is breaking free down the sideline. That is a touchdown, and what a way to cap off a 1,000-yard season there for CeeDee Lamb, as he gets a nice deep ball, burning Mackenzie Alexander, and Jesse Bates unable to get him, as a huge play from this Toronto offense. And I told you guys, they needed to throw the football deep a little bit more. They seem to always have good things happen when they do, and look at that. Josh Lambo, pending the extra point here, should tie it up, giving them a 10-10 score here, and Toronto going punch for punch with Cincinnati. As you see there, CeeDee Lamb having over 1,000 yards is a solid season here for the #1 receiver out here in Toronto. You like to see it. I want to see some more of that type of stuff from them in the future. So now here it is going to be 1st and 10 at the 34, has a decent return there from this Bengals special teams unit. So what will the Bengals do now after they made a nice drive, finds the end zone finally, feel like they have a little bit of momentum, and then Toronto comes out and just snaps it right back, as you have Mixon coming up the gut for about 5 yards. That's going to be setting up a 2nd and 5 here, going with a 3-wide formation here, as you have a run up the gut. That is Mixon getting a couple extra yards on top of the first down. So that'll be a solid day here for Joe Mixon. He's nearing the 100-yard mark. Hasn't quite got there yet. Needs about 30 more yards or so. So it's going to be probably a pretty good likelihood that he has a 100-yard day here against Toronto. And it's going to be another run here for him as he gets stuffed after only about a yard. Nice play there by Ryan Kerrigan to run him down. So now it is 2nd and 8. They're going to give him 2 on that one. But they are almost at midfield as Herbert takes the snap. Quick throw underneath. That is going to be caught by Preston Williams, and that is close to a first down, and they're marking him short. So 3rd and 1. Opportunity here for Toronto to make a stop. Will the defense be able to do so? It's going to be a run up the gut as Mixon gets through that tackle by Darius Evans and eventually gets the first down, gaining about 3 yards or so. As you see, Darius Evans tries to get in there, but unable to make the tackle. Nice play there by Joe Mixon to shrug him off, get the first down, and continue the drive for Cincinnati. He has been such an implemental tool for this offense. As you see, another first down, but that is a fumble. Big hit coming down. I believe that was Richie Branch with the fumble recovery. I think that was Jaquil Easter, the young, hard-hitting safety, coming down and making a play. Yes, it was. The big man makes something happen there. What a play there. As you see, Jaquil Easter just lays the wood, and that is what he was known for coming out of college and has really made a staple in his first season or two here in the NFL of pretty much being like a Cam Chancellor-esque safety with the hard hits, forcing fumbles, and just like that, Toronto has an opportunity to really break free. As you see, a nice run. Aaron Jones breaking tackles left and right past midfield up to the 47-yard line. And that is going to be over 500 yards on the season for him, as he's missed a few games this year, which is why he's only at about 500 yards. But what a change of events here from this Toronto team. And I was telling you guys, as soon as this defense makes some big plays, it seems like it really gets this offense going. And the offense makes the big plays that gets the defense going. It's like this yin and yang, and you need them both to be playing well at the same time. And as you see, a quick throw here underneath. That's going to be Aaron Jones getting a couple more. Getting up to the 42-yard line now. Now 2nd and 4. But as I mentioned, they seem to play off of one another, and that's what I love about this team. As soon as one big thing happens, it just is a snowball effect, it seems like. And a nice completion there over the middle to Jonnu Smith. A solid play there for a first down, and now Nickerson, empty backfield, throws to the right, and that is going to be a nice play by Travis Kelce, just juking the shoes off of Von Bell. And so now it is 1st and 10 here at the 21-yard line, and they are not going to get the snap off. So that is where we end this third quarter, and just like that, it is 10-10 with the Huskies flipping the script, getting down the field, and now in field goal range with an opportunity knocking to find a touchdown here for Toronto. So now coming out of the third quarter, it is Nickerson going outside and overthrowing his intended target. That's the second time we've seen that today, as that was T. Higgins this time, looking a little frustrated. So now 2nd and 10 at the 21-yard line. Nickerson takes this snap, having a little bit of time, throwing over the middle. That is intercepted inside the 5, getting it returned out past the 25 to the 26. That is Jesse Bates making a big play, and I don't know if that was an inaccurate throw there from Nickerson, or if he just simply didn't see what was going on downfield. But you see there, it looks like, I don't know if it was just overthrown, intended once again for T. Higgins, or what is going on there, but seems like he was throwing for the underneath guy there who is running up to the end zone, but just overthrew him. And just like that, all that momentum snatched right away from Toronto. Their young rookie makes his first big mistake in this one, as is going to be a completion outside. Nice one there. Nice move by Auden Tate. That gets a first down. And a Herbert completion for a first down. We've seen a lot of that today. So now Herbert under center, thrown outside to his tight end, and a big hit there by Jaquil Easter, trying to force another one, but the big man, Pat Freiermuth, will not let go of that football easily, as he goes down after a gain of 2. But as you see, Jaquil Easter is a monster out there from the safety position. He is not going to let anyone catch a football around him and not feel his presence. So now it is 2nd and 8 here. Quick throw outside and trying to get some sort of screenplay going, but that gets blown up in the backfield. I believe that was Marshawn Lattimore, the vet, coming up and reading that play like a book and making the play there on Tyler Boyd. So now 3rd and 10 at the 37. Can this defense make up for Toronto's offense's mistake? As we get a little bit of pressure there, and just like that, Herbert looking a little flustered, and then Darius Evans finds his first sack of the day, and that's a big one on 3rd down, and that forces Cincinnati to punt this football away. As you see, Herbert just seemed flustered from the get-go, and all of a sudden, Darius Evans was in his face, and there was not much Herbert could do after that. He's got the happy feet there, kept turning around, looking, and just didn't see anything, as that is not what you want from a young quarterback. You need to see some better footwork, some better overall analyzation of that defense. So now a return here out to the 23-yard line for Toronto. That was Travis Etienne on the return. As you see, Nickerson's stat line could be better, But once again, you take away that Hail Mary interception, and it looks a little bit better there. So now it is 1st and 10 in the I formation at the 23-yard line, but they are electing to throw this one, and it is going to be a completion over the middle. That is Travis Kelce with, I believe, his 4th reception on the day, if I'm not mistaken. So now that went for a 1st down as well. Low snap here, and it is going to be a run for Aaron Jones, rolling over a defender for a yard. So now 2nd and 9, a fake to the running back as Nickerson holds this ball a little bit too long, complete downfield, as that's going to be in plus territory, but we have a flag. And that is absolutely devastating. Holding against the veteran David DeCastro, trying to protect his young quarterback. So now it is 2nd and 18, empty backfield here as we only have a 3-man rush, and complete outside. That is CeeDee Lamb shrugging off one defender and eventually going down at the 35. But a gain of 10 there leads to 3rd and 8 and much more manageable. And they elect to run this one, and a nice play there by Aaron Jones trying to be shifty and get his way through there. Gets 7 of the 8 needed. The question is, what are they going to do now? Are they going to go ahead and punt this one away as they haven't quite reached midfield yet? Or are they going to be aggressive here? Try and get that 4th and 1. As you see there, Chris Harris's ankle is getting broken by Aaron Jones. And they are electing to punt this one away. They trust in their defense, and why wouldn't you after some of the plays this defense has made today? And it is going to be a booming punt through the back of the end zone for a touchback, and that is going to start at the 20-yard line here. As you see, Joe Mixon has been pretty solid today. Hasn't quite gotten 100 yards, but I expect by the end of the day he will. And they're going to start this thing off with an empty backfield here. Herbert alone, as he's going to throw over the middle, quick throw, and that is Pat Freiermuth, another gain of about 9 yards. Like I talked about, tight end has been a problem for this team all season long. So now it is 2nd and 1. Herbert changing things up and going ahead and throwing again over the middle, and again complete, but this time it is Joe Mixon making the completion for a 1st down there. As Mixon's been solid out of the backfield for them. 6 grabs on the day. You don't see that from him a whole lot here as they go deep over the middle, and that is incomplete, overthrowing his intended target of Auden Tate. So now it is 2nd and 10 here at the 37, and it's going to be a quick... Ooh, I thought it was going to be a quick throw, but instead, a little bit of time and eventually just dumping it off to Pat Freiermuth. But that right there, that's what you needed more of in the first half to get those points on the board. But instead, you know, Justin Herbert, you didn't see that from him. As you see a nice throw over the middle, and that one is complete for a 1st down. Pat Freiermuth again. So that is his 9th catch on the day. And like I said, it's something with this Toronto defense. I don't know if they need some better coverage linebackers. I don't know if they need to work on it with the safeties or what, but tight end is just an issue for this team. So now 1st and 10, quick throw outside, and that was faked actually to the running back. That is Joe Mixon, and getting blown up in the backfield by Jordan Hicks, his 1st tackle for loss on the day. As you see, getting through there were a couple of defenders there that could have made a play on that one. So impressive stuff from this Toronto defense, continuing to make plays in the backfield, whether it's sacks, whether it's tackles for losses. They seem to get in there very quickly. It's something that they're well known for across the NFL this season. So now it is 2nd and 14 at the 45. They're going to run this one, and a big hit again and another fumble. And I cannot believe I'm about to say this. That is, who was it? That's right, Jaquil Easter again. I told you, he's the 2nd incarnation of none other than... Oh, that wasn't Jaquil Easter. Hang on. No, that was the vet, Ryan Kerrigan. Wow, as I believe that was a massive hit from the veteran, just proving that he still has it as he comes through with a big play and a recovery for Toronto leads to a plus territory starting position here. And just like that, they're going to start off with a run up the gut for a couple as Aaron Jones starts things off there. 3 minutes to go in this game as it's a tie game, 10 apiece, lots of time, and a deep throw and incomplete as the receiver, which was T. Higgins, couldn't hang on to the ball. So now 3rd and 8 at the 43. Don't let this opportunity slip between your fingers as a big pass rush coming in untouched. That was Darren Lee coming in as they sent the house on 3rd down, and Toronto just didn't have enough bodies back there. As you count there, only 5 to protect, and I believe that was at least 6 coming through on the blitz. So someone was going to be untouched, and Nickerson just couldn't get the ball off quick enough. So now that great opportunity just slips between their fingers once again. So Matt Haack is going to have to pin this Cincinnati team deep, hopefully, as it is a bad punt here from Matt Haack, going out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So just like that, Cincinnati escapes their bad fate there, and they're going to need to make something happen here, this Toronto defense, to stop them with 2.5 to go as Herbert has all the time in the world and almost intercepted. Come on, man. That was big play Slay with an opportunity to make something happen, but he drops the ball. And so now it is going to be Herbert with a little bit of time getting over the middle. That is complete. I believe that is Tyler Boyd with the reception, and it was first down, his 5th catch on the day. So now they are up to the 42-yard line, just over 2 minutes to go in this game. This has been an interesting one. The offenses have picked things up here in the second half, and the defenses have had to make really big plays to keep these offenses in check. Forced fumbles, interceptions, things like that. And that is going to be the 2-minute warning here. Tied 10 apiece. Cincinnati driving with 2 minutes to go. Let's see how this thing ends. As Herbert takes this snap, throws outside, quick pass that is going to be caught. Joe Mixon for only a gain of about 2 or 3. And now it's going to be a run by Joe Mixon, breaking 1 tackle but getting hit in the backfield, a loss of 3. So overall, gain of about 1 yard. So now 3rd and 9. It is going to be Herbert, minute 17 to go, all the time in the world, but eventually just drops this one underneath, and that is a big play for Toronto's defense. They come up, they make the tackle in space, and now, all of a sudden, an opportunity as they take a timeout with a minute 13 to go. Can Toronto take advantage? Can the offense make something happen? A big punt here from Pat O'Donnell going out of bounds at the 33. He has been really bad for this Bengals team, so that provides a large opportunity here for this Toronto team, only needing a field goal with a minute 9 to go, so they need about 30 or 40 yards. And here's Nickerson with the snap over the middle. That is caught, but fumble! Oh no! That is going to be picked up and taken back inside the 25 to the 21. Jesse Bates with the fumble recovery, and I believe that was Keontae Bonds with the fumble. As he was just trying to fight for yardage, man. Just go down, dude. Oh my God. Ugh. Look at that. Darren Lee forcing that ball out. Jesse Bates being in the right position at the right time. And all of a sudden, Cincinnati pretty much has this game on lock. They need maybe one first down, if that, as you see here, and they get it right there. Getting a big run down to the 6-yard line. Unless Toronto lets them score and then scores themselves, it's going to be a big ask, but we will have to see. Going in I formation here, it's going to be a fake. Oh, they're electing to throw this one as Herbert throws it outside and out of bounds. That was an interesting decision there. So now 2nd and goal with 50 seconds to go at the 6-yard line. They can just run this clock out. And that is probably what they're going to try and do now after the mistake there on 1st down. Final timeout there by Toronto. And so now with no timeouts left, just under 50 seconds in this game, I believe Cincinnati is just going to run this ball once, kick the field goal, and be done. As Joe Mixon gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Wait a second now. This might be good for Toronto. So that is going to be Cincinnati taking the lead here with about 43 seconds, I believe that said, left on the clock. As you see there, it is a touchdown. So that is going to be a 7-point lead for Cincinnati with 43 seconds to go. But Toronto now has an opportunity to answer, whereas otherwise would not have had that if Cincinnati elected to just kneel the football and then kick the field goal. So now an interesting decision here by Cincinnati leads to an opportunity for Toronto. So this game isn't quite over, but it doesn't look good. As you have ETN getting this one out past the 30, almost to the 35, and that is where they're going to start things off here. So they need a touchdown, so they have to get 65 yards here within 39 seconds. No timeouts. We will have to see if Trevor Nickerson can lead a game-tying drive. 3 receivers right. Nickerson in the gun. He's going to take this snap. A little bit of pressure here on the right side, but gets away with a throw. That is Travis Kelce with the catch near midfield. 19 seconds to go. Nickerson with the catch, or excuse me, the snap here. Thrown outside. That is caught and getting out of bounds. I believe he actually lost a yard there, but gets out of bounds. That's the important thing here. 12 seconds to go. They need 50 yards. They need one big play. Nickerson going deep down the field. That is incomplete. I couldn't tell for a second there. It looked like it was caught. So now it's going to be another Hail Mary here. 3rd and 10, 6 seconds to go. Going deep down the field. A quick throw this time. Incomplete. So allowing themselves one more opportunity there, as it's probably a good thing that wasn't caught. Oh boy. Well, we've seen crazier things happen in this. So 1 second to go. 4 wide here. Nickerson takes the snap, throwing deep down the middle, and that is incomplete. And that is how this one ends. And that, unfortunately, does not bode well for Toronto's playoff hopes. I think there's a good chance they were just knocked out of the playoffs there. And this was the first real opportunity that Toronto has had to make the playoffs. And unfortunately, Cincinnati and Justin Herbert were just a little bit too much for this team. And honestly, it was more Joe Mixon than Herbert, as Herbert played well, but he did make mistakes that we could have taken advantage of. But as you see there, it was just a little bit too much. And Cincinnati is going to take this one 17-10 final. So it's very unfortunate how that one played out, as that's going to drop your Huskies from 7-7 down to 7-8, and just like that, Cincinnati is tied with them with the tiebreaker. So I don't think that Toronto will be making the playoffs in this one, but unfortunate. But we will have to see what that means for our Week 17 matchup against the Tennessee Titans, who we didn't get to see what their situation is, but if they win on their Monday night game against the Eagles, then they have an opportunity to maybe make the playoffs themselves. So we have a chance at playing spoiler in Week 17 So we will have to come back and see what happens. But until then, my name is TayVikes28. I thank you guys for watching, and please come back and see what happens in the Week 17 game against the Titans. Have a wonderful rest of your day.